What if humanity is completely invisible to the universe? 8 billion people, thousands of satellites, radio signals blasting into space for over a century. And to any civilization sitting 40 light years away from us right now, we are completely, totally, absolutely invisible. Not hard to find, not difficult to detect. Invisible, as in we do not exist to them at all. And the reason has nothing to do with how loud we are or how advanced our technology is. The reason is something sitting 150 million kilometers away from us that we never even think about. Something we depend on for every single day of life on this planet. And it is the very thing that is hiding us from the rest of the universe. In this video, I am going to show you exactly why we cannot be found, what an alien civilization would actually need to discover us, and why the answer to that last question should genuinely make you uncomfortable. Stay with me, because the third point is the one that changes everything. Start with the photo. In 1990, Voyager 1 turned its camera back toward Earth from a distance of 6 billion kilometers already past Neptune, already in the outer edge of our solar system. The image it sent back showed Earth as a single pale blue dot, barely a pixel wide, almost lost in the scattered light of the sun. That was from 6 billion kilometers. A short walk by cosmic standards. Proxima Centauri, our nearest stellar neighbor, is 40 trillion kilometers away. At that distance, Earth does not appear as a dot. It does not appear as anything. It vanishes entirely into the noise. And here is why. Every signal that leaves Earth, every radio wave, every television broadcast, every military radar pulse spreads outward in every direction simultaneously. Think of dropping a stone into still water. The ripples expand in a perfect circle, getting flatter and wider with every centimeter they travel. Light and radio waves do the same thing, except in 3 dimensions. The signal fans out across an ever-growing sphere of space. By the time it has traveled 40 light years, that original transmission has been stretched across a surface area so vast that its intensity drops to almost nothing. It becomes indistinguishable from the natural electromagnetic noise already filling the universe from exploding stars, rotating pulsars, colliding galaxies. Our signal dissolves into the background. It stops being a message and becomes static. That alone would make us nearly impossible to find. But there is a second problem sitting right next to us, and this one is far worse. Our sun is the reason no one will ever find us. Here is the comparison that makes this real. Take a lit candle and hold it directly next to a stadium floodlight. Then walk 100 meters away and try to see the candle. You cannot. The floodlight does not just outshine the candle, it erases it. Now make that floodlight 1 billion times brighter. That is the ratio between our sun and the Earth as seen from space. Every city lit up at night, every radio tower transmitting signals, every satellite orbiting the planet, every piece of technology humanity has ever built, combined all of it, produces less light and less electromagnetic radiation than our sun generates in a fraction of a second. To any observer looking at our solar system from a distance, there is only one thing visible: a medium-sized yellow-white star. Ordinary, unremarkable, and right beside it, hidden completely in its glare, a tiny planet with 8 billion people who have been screaming into space for a century without being heard. We are not broadcasting into the universe. We are whispering next to a jet engine. And here is what makes this genuinely strange. Jupiter and Saturn are actually easier to detect than Earth. They sit further from the sun, they reflect more light simply due to their size, and they are less drowned out by the solar glare. If an alien civilization ever notices something interesting in our solar system, it will be a gas giant, not us. Earth, the only planet with life, is the hardest one to see. Now here is the detail that most people have never heard. And this is the one that reframes the entire conversation. Why do scientists keep using the number 40 light years specifically? Why not 100? Why not 1,000? Is it arbitrary? It is not arbitrary at all. It is physical, and it is directly tied to our age as a civilization. Roughly 100 years ago, humanity began transmitting electromagnetic signals seriously into space for the first time. Early radio broadcasts, radar systems, wartime military communications. The moment those signals left the atmosphere, they began traveling outward at the speed of light, and they have never stopped. They are still moving right now, an expanding sphere of human noise spreading through the galaxy. 100 years times the speed of light equals 100 light-years of distance covered. But the signal does not stay strong for all 100 light-years. It weakens with every light-year it travels dramatically, exponentially. By the time it has traveled 40 light-years, it has diluted to the point where it is barely, theoretically, possibly distinguishable from natural background radiation. Beyond 40 light-years, it is gone. Absorbed into the noise, undetectable by any instrument we can currently conceive of. So 40 light-years is not a border someone drew on a map. It is the actual physical edge of our existence in the universe. The outermost point where we have even begun to announce ourselves. And even at that boundary, the announcement is a whisper so faint that detecting it would require technology far beyond anything humanity currently possesses. We have been a technological civilization for 100 years. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. In cosmic terms, we have existed for less than the blink of an eye, and our voice has traveled less than the width of a single hair on a map the size of a continent. But suppose an alien civilization had extraordinary technology, telescopes we cannot imagine, receivers capable of filtering signals from noise we consider impossible to separate. Could they find us then? Even then, there is one final problem, and it is the most crushing of all. They would need a reason to look at our sun specifically. The Milky Way contains somewhere between 200 and 400 billion stars. Our sun is one of them. It has no unusual brightness, no strange radiation pattern, no cosmic feature that would draw attention. It is, by every measurable standard, completely average. Picking it out as a candidate for further study would be like being handed a map of Earth with no labels, no landmarks, no coordinates, and being told to find one specific person without knowing which country, which city, which street, or even which hemisphere they live in. Without a reason to point a telescope at our sun, without some initial signal or anomaly that flags us as interesting, no amount of technology matters. You cannot find something you have no reason to look for. And we have given the universe no reason to look for us. Not yet. Possibly not ever. An alien civilization searching for signs of life would spend years observing a single star just to determine if planets orbit it. More years to establish whether any of those planets sit within the habitable zone. More time still to detect the faint dip in brightness that occurs when an Earth-sized planet transits across the face of its star, a signal so small, so brief, occurring once every 365 days for just 13 hours, that even our own most advanced telescopes struggle to detect it around nearby stars we already know about. We are not a needle in a haystack. We are a needle in a haystack the size of the galaxy, and nobody knows the needle exists. So here is what we now know. Our signals dissolve into background noise before they reach 40 light-years. Our sun erases us from visibility at any practical distance. We have only existed as a transmitting civilization for a single century in a universe almost 14 billion years old. And even if an advanced civilization had the technology to detect us, they would first need a reason to look, which we have never given them. We are invisible, not because the universe is empty, but because we are too young, too small, and too perfectly hidden behind our own star to be seen. And maybe, just maybe, that is the luckiest thing that has ever happened to us, because any civilization capable of crossing the distance to reach us would be so far beyond us technologically that our fate would rest entirely in their hands. The silence might not be a problem to solve. It might be the thing keeping us alive. If this changed how you see our place in the universe, share it with someone who still thinks we just need to broadcast louder. And watch this next. It covers what would actually happen if we were found.